Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We are inside hiding from the cold and the wind and the rain. But if you hang around till after the break, we'll be right back to see what we can get into. Alrighty guys, since we're stuck indoors here today, I thought maybe we would talk a little bit about the hybrid corn project. If you've been a viewer for a while, you've probably seen us grow it here on the homestead, but we've also had a few other people grow it. Old Daniel over there at Arms Family Homestead grew some, and old Dutch out there at Keeping It Dutch, he grew a little bit too. But we're going to continue to grow it year after year. What we've done is we've acquired a little over 20 varieties of heirloom and heritage corn. Some of the varieties are hundreds and hundreds of years old, but they were all organically sourced. And what we're doing is we're open pollinating, planting them together, and we're just allowing the dominant genes from each one to rise to the surface. And we'll continue to do that year after year. Now what we're trying to create is a corn that we can use for both human consumption and to feed our animals. So we'd like to be able to make cornmeal, and we'd like to be able to crack it and feed it to the chickens. So guys, we've got some pictures here of the original packaging when we ordered it, since it's been a couple of years. But I wanted to let you just browse through them a little bit. It'll show you some of the varieties that we're including in the project. So we'll go ahead, we'll roll that now. You can take a look at what we're going to be mixing together. Alrighty guys, those are the corns that we were going to be putting together for the hybrid project. And like I said, they'll be open pollinated, planted together, and as they cross pollinate, the dominant genes will rise to the top. Now a lot of people will tell you that a hybrid won't breed true, and that is actually accurate in the first few generations of a hybrid. But as those dominant genes come to the top, the gene pool becomes more and more narrow, and we're able to line breed similar corns back to each other. And the longer you do that, the more in line and more similar those varieties will become. So as we eliminate the genes from the gene pool, it'll become what they call homozygous, and that just means it basically has one set of genes. And as you breed those back together, they will begin to breed true. It's the same thing when you breed animals. If you're a cat breeder, we used to breed cats. If we saw a trait that we liked, then we could breed that cat back to one of its parents. The kitten had the dominant genes from both parents, so the parents don't have any genes that can overwrite the kitten. If you breed the newborn back to the parents, it'll all look like the newborn because the newborn has dominant genes. So guys, it's kind of the same thing we're doing with the corn. Genes will eliminate themselves as they go along, and then when we get a little bit closer towards the end of it, we'll start selecting for different traits that we like. But right now, the goal is to get them all blended up into something that's approaching homozygous, and then we can get a little more particular with it. So guys, I'm going to show you just a little bit. I'm going to spin you around here. We've got some of the seed mixed up together, and it's seed from the original source when we sourced it originally, and we've hybridized it in the past, so those seeds are mixed back in too. So let me spin you around. We'll show you a little bit of what that seed looks like now. Alrighty guys, there's old Brutus there in the background. He'll be directing today's episode. But I'll bring you down here and show you. We got these large pickle jars. They are full of the seed that we'll be growing. Like I said, this is a combination of several varieties, and we're allowing them to cross-pollinate and hybridize together. But we're also going to be selling some of the seed. Bring it down here and show you these here. We're going to be selling it in packets of about 200 or so seeds. And we'll tell you a little bit about that as we get on towards the end of the video. But wanted to give you an idea. I'll try to get in close without too much glare. give you an idea, there's a good variety of seed in there. And we've got plenty of it. So, guys, we'll be right back here in just a second. We'll tell you a little bit more about what we got going on. Alrighty, guys. That's the corn that we're going to be growing, and we're also going to make some of it available to you guys if you want. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a minute. But this is going to be a long time project. It takes several generations to cross them through until you've seen the variety in the seeds, and in the end the seeds will all pretty much look the same. So it is going to take a little while back and forth. It takes we figure in about 7 years, and we're about a year into it, so we still got a while to go. So it's going to be a long-term project, but we enjoy doing it. We've got lots of videos on it. If you haven't seen it before, they're in our gardening playlist. All you have to do is click our logo anywhere. That'll take you to the main page of our video channel here, and down at the bottom of it should be the gardening playlist. But in several of the garden tours, those will be the videos you'll be looking for. In the garden tours, we'll get you out there and show you how tall this stuff really gets and how big these ears really get. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, we're gonna be putting these in our Etsy store. And how you find the Etsy store is to go to our main page on Facebook and just hit the Shop Now button. But that'll take you to the page, and you'll see some of Tina's craft work there if you're interested in anything like that. But we're also going to have the seeds available there. So guys, if you would, we'd appreciate it if you'd head over there, check out the Etsy store. It helps support the channel and what we're doing here, trying to help new homesteaders and new people trying to become a little bit more self-reliant. Just get on the right course without having to go through the pains that we had to go through to get here. So alrighty, guys, sorry about that. But before we wrap this up, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the different things that we're doing to help challenge the corn or move the project along. One of the things is you've seen us plant it in different areas of the garden. We've planted it way back in the back field, and we planted it really close together so that it would get root knotted, and just put it through an awful test. And the corn back there didn't get watered, it didn't get any kind of nutrients. But we've grown it up here in the main garden, and up here with all the nutrients and everything, it really flourished and took off and grew just amazingly tall, had some huge ears on it. And then last year, you probably saw us grow it right down at the end of the sweet corn. So we wanted it to just kind of go through the same things that our average garden goes through, or what we normally do for our corn. So we put it pretty near the sweet corn plot and treated it just the same. So guys, what we're doing is we're challenging it, kind of like Darwin. We're going to go by the survival of the fittest. So as it cross-pollinates and the dominant genes come to the top, we also want to challenge it different ways so that we end up with one type of corn that we can count on no matter what, whether we can water it, whether we can feed it. We want it to be able to grow in different types of soil, and just have one type of corn that we can count on both for us to consume and our animals. And it's a kind of lofty goal. It's not something, we're not trying to do the impossible or anything like that. It's a fun project. We put some money into it initially, but now we're just having fun with it. We save our own seeds back. We're able to share those with others, and like I said, we'll have some of them on the Etsy store. If you guys want to try to do something similar, we're pretty early in the hybridization process, so there's still going to be a good variety to the seeds. But if you go ahead and cross those up in your growing conditions, then the dominant genes will come to the top no matter what. But you can also test that against your conditions. So you grow them year after year. Each year it should get stronger and a little more homozygous. It should start to look the same. So guys, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you think of the project, or tell us if you're interested in growing corn like this. We're glad to hear, you know, anything you're doing on your homestead or your farm. But guys, if you like this kind of content, we hope you'll hit the subscribe button. And right next to the subscribe is a bell. If you'll ring that, that'll send you notifications whenever we release new videos. That's a great way to keep up with projects like this, or maybe the workshop video series that we're making. But guys, we really appreciate you spending your time with us. We're gonna get out of here. We do hope maybe you'll take on this corn project and see what you can do for yourself. It should be interesting, and if anything else, it's some really big corn you can show off to your friends. So Guys, we're going to get out of here. We really appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one.